times as many. Punches and kicks inbound are illegal. So if there's that many kicks to that many wrestling moves, why isn't the referee saying ring the bell, disqualified, or see the babyface go out and throw the first punch or the first kick? When I was a kid, if I came back from the dressing room with Bill Watts, he would have beaten me up for that. Because what makes me the good guy? The good guys follow the rules. Bad guys break the rules. Good guys finally throw that first punch or kick when they've tried to keep to the rules, tried, finally say to hell with it and level the playing field. You know, then the fans go, finally he gave him the taste of his own medicine. Not the baby face just coming out throwing the first punch or kick. The referee look, it's just a wrestling match, we'll just let it go on. So there's no continuity. Plus Vince has been telling us for 30 years it's fake, it's fake, it's fake, it's fake, it's fake. Now I poke him in the eye and you say, well, why do you believe I poked him in the eye? Because I've told you for 30 years it's fake. I know magic's not real. But I love magic, and I don't want to know how they cut the lady in half. Because once I do it, it's not going to be special to you. And you can't, after telling me how you cut the lady in half, do it a different way later and go, now I'm really cutting the lady. No, you're not. You're doing the same thing you did before with different lights and camera and stuff. The fans don't want to know the difference. And I'll tell you how I know that. My dad was 48 when I was born. So my dad was always much older. My dad was in incredible shape. But he was always much older than my friends' dads. I had friends' dads who died at 41, 42, so I grew up with morbid fear I was going to get a phone call one day that my dad had died. When I started on the road in UWF and I broke his hand and his knuckles, I was in a cast. My dad sees this on TV, so I call home one day. And the episode of UWF had just aired, and my stepmother told me, your dad's kicking the dog and everything else, he's so upset that you're hurt. So I said, put him on the phone. I said, Dad, it's all fake. I lied to him. I said, my hand's not really broken, they're just pretending. I don't think it was well into the 60s at this point, World War II vet. So I tell him this was, okay, so a couple years later, we're going on the WCW Steamboat. And on the live television, the Clash of the Champions were winning the titles from Barry Windham and Dustin Rhodes. So I talked to him before the match. I go out and after the match. We have 90 seconds. We're coming back to do a segment immediately after on live TV. So I have 90 seconds. I run back to the payphone. I call my dad, and he's crying because his son's won a world championship. So I tell him, Dad, what you're going to see next is awful, because Barry was going to be attacking us with chair, and we were going to get the sauce and stuff. So I said, what you're about to, it's all fake. The blood you see is fake blood. I'm lying to my dad because I don't want him to have a stroke or something over this. So I called back right after the segment, and my stepmother answered, and she said, your dad threw an ashtray for television. So I said, put him on the phone. So for 45 minutes, I tell my dad, it's all fake, it's all work, it's all pretend. This is how we do this is how I'm telling him the whole thing for 45 minutes. He's listening. At the end of 45 minutes, I said, you understand that? I said, don't worry, I'm not getting beat up when I do this. It's all pretend, okay? So I got one question for you, son. I said, what's that? He said, why do they put these big guys in with these little guys? That's not fair. He didn't want to know. It's like telling a 5-year-old kid there's no Santa Claus. They're going to be laying in bed going, please, Santa, don't think my dad's right. They don't want to know. They want to believe it's real. Fans don't want to, they don't give a crap about real or fake. 50 years I've been watching Boogie, they never cared anything. I was pretty sure getting into business, it wasn't a real sport. I didn't know, I didn't have proof of it, but I was pretty sure just by watching it. It didn't matter to me. If the heel was a great heel and the babyface was a great babyface and the storyline worked, I was hook, line, and sinker, a fish on the end of a string. I think it worked. And remember the night he was elected, they said, the stock market's going to die, and it did for a second, and then it went blew through the roof. We're expecting that out of that, we're going to ride that wave. We have a standing letter of credit from an English bank for $50 million. Our CEO, Bill Townsend, has not told me this, but 6 months before this, he did tell me that he was cataloging his investments, all of his holdings. Now, I'm smart enough to know that there's no bank in the world going to give you $50 million of credit line if you haven't put some kind of collateral on. I'm sure Bill has put up this collateral and we have a standing letter of credit. Now, what you do with that is, that's not a loan. You take that to a bank, you give that to the bank. The bank will say, okay, this bank over here is going to guarantee this loan, so that if we would default on it, this bank will pay that loan off. In essence, giving the banks that we're dealing with zero risk. Even if we default, they get their money back. That doesn't make it carefree for them because they're looking at it as an investment. They don't want just the $50 million back, they want the $50 million back and the interest. So we've tendered them to 2 banks that Bill has done business with previously. Those two banks, one has holdings of 50 billion, the other one has holdings of 220 billion. So they're both large enough to float the loan. We're waiting to hear back from them now. The election and then the holiday put it on hold. We're hoping to hear something before Christmas. If we don't, shortly after the beginning of the new year. Bill had wanted to get things rolling by December 1st. This was in early October. I didn't want to, I was that scared because I firmly believe that we have got to retrain the kids. If I were to pull a bunch of kids off the Independence today, I would end up with a product that looks like TNA, a Ring of Honor, or worse, WWE. We need to get wrestling back to looking more like Boogie, looking more like me or Taz, looking more like Kevin. Back to wrestling. And to do that, it's going to take time to train this. You guys know you come here every Sunday and train. This is hard stuff. I've seen 4 professional football players, one won 4 Super Bowl rings. Come to Dominic's school after 2 months quit and said this is the hardest thing he's ever done. This guy played in 4 Super Bowls. So pretty good athlete, I'm guessing. So this is hard stuff to pick up. And like Kevin said, you have an incredible asset here. 2 incredible assets. Well, more than that. He says the facility. I trained in a place that was far less glamorous than this. It was an old abandoned school that when the wind blew and the snow would blow through. It didn't matter to us. We wanted to learn wrestling. So the fact that you have this place to train in this area, I was telling Angel this. We were at the house looking. I mean, this is. People say God's country, right? This is. I can't imagine anything being more God country than this. And it's beautiful out here. Take advantage of it. Take advantage of people like Joe Laurinaitis or me or Kevin or whoever comes through. Boogie's here every weekend. Pick his brain. I'm sure he's more than happy to tell you and impart that knowledge on you. I think about it. If I was an investment bank, I had somebody who'd been a successful investment bank for 50 years, I would be a fool not to ask that guy, hey, you got any pointers? Can you teach me some things? Nothing makes up for experience. Experience can't be bought. You get experiences from living it. You got a guy who's lived it for 5 decades. Kevin, about 10 decades. So take advantage of it. When you're at the independent shows, beat the guys' ears. You know, we'll find some jerks that won't want to talk to you. But most of the time, I've found the guys in the business to be more than willing to teach young kids. The other night we were in the show in Dayton, and a kid asked. We were done and had a pretty good drive after us. And the kid had asked in the last match if I could watch the match and give him feedback. Well, having been somebody that Flair tried to work and tell me, give me feedback, and he wasn't. When I tell somebody that I will never blow smoke if they were in. So I watched the match and afterwards gave him pointers. And Kevin had been watching from someplace else, didn't even know he was watching. He gave Kellis the identical information. Take advantage of that. But most important, like Kevin said, watch the matches. When I was coming in, it was expected. It was your job. When you get to the building tonight, you're at your work site. You're at work. Watch the matches before it's on. Hey, you see that girl in the third row? She's a good-looking girl. I'm going to go out to the bar tonight and see if I can talk to that girl. No, hell with that. That comes later. Right now, the matches have started. I'm going to watch those matches. If I'm the main event on that card, the last thing I want to do is go out and give those fans the same match they saw in 1, 2, or 3, or 4. I want to give them something separate and special. I remember Ricky Morton telling me that years and years ago. You know, I see the best tag team in wrestling at that time, watching every single match. They watched these kids for. That's why. Because they weren't going to do anything similar. If you didn't do it, when I got my break under Bill Watts. Bill Watts is a bit of a bully. A great teacher, but his style is a bully. If you were back in the back talking, the match that started, brother, you caught hell. I mean, it wasn't like, hey, Shane, go watch the match. But what the hell? In your face, spitting in your face, poking you in the chest, you know. So you learn pretty quickly. Kevin had said something about being different and all of that. The point is with the new company, Kevin's been working on this from almost the very beginning with me. Kevin was instrumental in helping create the finishing touches on putting the style, the presentation on the company will be presented. I think we have an incredible team. I know we have an incredible formula of getting it back. We can't just go back and redo what Boogie did or redo what Kevin did. We have to bring that up to 2016 and 17 and then make it something new today. Back then we didn't have shoot fighting to compete with. So, there's a lot of elements that have to go into this. Kevin was instrumental in helping put those finishing touches on taking this from a good idea to a great idea. There will be opportunities. Even if this company doesn't get started, rest assured somebody will be starting something soon. If somebody in this neighborhood wants to buy heroin, I'm sure there's no heroin dealer around right now. Sooner or later there'll be a heroin dealer living in the neighborhood. Somebody here wants heroin. The fans want professional wrestling. They're speaking it loud and clear with their actions. When you watch Vince's rating one this way, a few other numbers for you. His business model used to be predicated on he had to sell out every night or come close. He made his profit then on the merchandise. He used to make $27 per head. So let's use Pittsburgh for an example. 18,800 seats sell out. Multiply that times $27. Well, that was about 5 years ago. The last time they were here for a non-Raw, non-pay-per-view show, they did 4,400 people. 2,400 of that was free tickets, what we call paper. So 2,000 tickets sold, and they dropped to $9 a head. That's a pretty drastic drop in money. The $1.4 million it cost them to transport that show around per week, each night they have a show like that, they sink deeper and deeper and deeper into red. So although everything looks great on the facade right now, I can tell you from the numbers I'm seeing from inside, from one of the moles we have in their company up there, are far from good. Their cash on hand has gone from $379 million to $116 million. That's a drastic drop for a business. A 70% drop in cash on hand is dangerous. So I'm not saying Vince is going to be out of business anytime soon. He could monetize a million pieces of that company to stay afloat. The point I'm making is there's a huge, massive audience out there that's being not underserved, being ignored. And you can see it with the indies. At the same time, Vince's numbers going like this, what have we seen in the indies in the last couple of years? Houses are coming up, the fans are excited. You see dads walking with a little son or daughter in hand, right? We've all seen this. Those are the fans that have left WWE. And they're not going to go back to watch that. They've left for a reason. They've left after years of being angry at what they've gotten and sticking around and hoping that maybe next week or next month it'll get better. And now they're angry. I always thought he had a base core of about 5 million fans because it had hovered there for a long time. I think that was those fans saying, maybe next week it'll be better, maybe. And now they're saying it's not going to get better, and they're slowly starting to whittle away. If it's not our company, somebody else will start something different. If everything stays the same, if nobody else starts up, no new companies, every single day, Kevin and I, Boogie, we all get a day order. That means John Cena's getting a day order. That means Roman Reigns is getting a day order. All the guys that you're watching and women you're watching on TV are getting a day order. Which means each day, more and more of those are ending up their careers and sloughing off. I never realized that as a kid. I saw these guys in front of be here forever. There's opportunity out there. Our business is predicated and needs new input, new blood, new talent, new characters, new moves, new skill, all being built on the foundation of the traditional art of sport, which has been totally ignored at this point. So that's the best update as I can give you right now. If you're looking for this company to think as positive thoughts as you can, I'm a firm believer. Kevin talks about karma, brother. It's karma. Everybody think positive as they can for this because this will be as unique an idea that's never been done in wrestling. This has never been tried before. A world-class business team coupled with a world-class wrestling team coupled with a world-class production team. That triumvirate has never been tried before. I have no doubt it will work. There will be bumps in the road, but with it, there will be 128 spots ultimately opening up. Like I was telling Boogie earlier when we first got here, I can use somebody's had some exposure with other companies. I'd much rather create the next Shane Douglas, the next Boogie, the next Kevin Sullivan, than have John Cena come in because he's going to want $1 gazillion and think he's doing us the favor, not the other way around. We want to build 128 wrestlers that see us as a home, that see it someplace they want to live out their career, not come and go till they can get to greener pastures. And those are the things that Bill and I are working on the business end. For the retirement accounts, for the benefits that we're going to offer everybody, for the profit sharing, 10% profit sharing, which very, very few companies do. Apple does 6%. So if we get this thing together, it's going to create a lot of opportunity. And these are the places it starts right here. Every star you've ever seen on TV or any show you've ever been to in your life started someplace like this, maybe not as nice as this most places, but everybody started in the first round. Very few people just say, hey, I'm here, got myself a pair of boots and tights, I'm ready to be a big star. It doesn't work that way. If you know your craft and you've sucked off that tree, and this tree, all the trees that have come through here, you learn this craft, the opportunities are unbelievable. Like Kevin said, we hope everyone in this room gets a chance to have some taste of that. Because it's been an incredible, I was telling Angel earlier, Mark Twain once said, if you love your job, if you love your work, you never go to a job with a hate your life. I really believe that. I can tell you a lot of bad stuff that's happened in wrestling, but I don't think of those things. I think of the friendships I've made, the friends I've lost, the places I've seen, the places I've been able to visit. And I watched my mom and dad work pretty crappy jobs to feed my big mouth, you know. I want my kids to have a much better dream, and I want you guys to have the same thing. So we're working as hard as we can. It's been a mountain of work, and it continues to be. Just getting to launch. Launch will just be the climb, the second higher mountain. But to do that, we're going to have a lot of young, fresh talent, people ready to go in there and bust ass to create that next generation of characters that will get Johnny public to want to tune that television or that on the OTT or the over-the-top networks like Hulu and Roku. Or on Google, Netflix. It's going to be 20 years from now, if me and Boogie and Kevin are still around, we're going to be old and fatter and bolder than we are now, and we all want to turn on a TV show and watch some great wrestlers. Speaking for myself, I can't watch 5 minutes of sports entertainment. That's nothing for me. I love wrestling. I can watch wrestling all day long. So, with that said, that's the best update I can give you. Best of luck to all of you guys. Like I said, I wish everybody could get a chance to live the lives we've led. You know, it's really been a really incredible ride. Blessed of a ride. So, best of luck to all you guys, and hopefully we'll have some news for you guys soon. Thank you, guys.
I'm going to say one more thing. As Shane was talking about schools and places to work, when I started to learn how to wrestle, I didn't have this mountaintop come to. I didn't have God's country, okay? I was going 234 Broadway in Williamsburg, Brooklyn, upstairs. I was the only Anglo in the gym. Johnny Rods, Pedro Morales, Marcel Rivera, Isaac Rosario. I was the only American, I was the only guy that didn't speak Spanish as his first language. So, my God, you guys got this beautiful place here. Do not take it for granted.
Guys, real fast, it just thrilled me. We were all at WrestleCade last night in Winston-Salem. The Big Mike was there, and the referee was there, and the guys, they said, hey, can we come back to here to talk to the kids? They got their eyes on a few of the kids especially, and the new kids. But like Shane said, this is where, and Kevin, this is where it's all coming from for the company. So guys, we're really impressed with our place and you and our coach and Sean. And I want to tell you something, man, that when they said yes, come back, man, I said please, be my guest. And I know Shane's been here now twice, and Joe's been here a couple of times. The first time for Kevin, man. But guys, they're interested, man. They're interested in you all, you know, and they want to make this come back, you know, to what it was, and it will happen. And real fast, guys, they're going to have to split real fast, but we're going to take some pictures now. He wants to take some pictures before I introduce our special guest from Louisiana. If anybody take advantage, they came way out of the way, guys. You know, to come here, you know, to if you want to get a picture or autograph or something, hey, this is how we make our money too. And if anybody wants one before they leave, please get it and you know, personal autograph it or whatever you want. You can help out. It's great. But they're real, it's a real deal, brother. These are living legends, man, and I'll tell you something, we're just so thankful to have them here. Let's give it up one more time.
One more, and I'll end because I'm running my boss. Let's give it up for Boogie and Angel.